Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Mary and welcome to another Craft Day Wednesday, where every Wednesday I post a new video. In today's video I am going to be doing another dog jar with the removable lid too. The only reason I'm redoing this video is because I was told by some of my subscribers that it was kind of hard for them to see what I was doing because basically everything was white. I mean, the dog was white, the felt was white, the yarn was white. So yeah, and then my background light is kind of bright too. So yeah, but I'm gonna redo that video, and I am going to be using tan and white yarn. Let's turn this a little bit. So yeah, hopefully this shows up a little better. And then I'm going to be working with tan felt to glue around my jar. So basically it's the exact same video. I'm just going to go ahead and redo it in different colors. That way it's easier to follow, hopefully. So yeah, so what you're going to need is a jar, or you can use any type of jar. It does not have to be a glass jar. You can use a plastic spaghetti container. You can make these as big, as small as you want. You can even use PVC pipe. I have done dogs using PVC pipes. You can make them as big or as little as you want. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera down so y'all can see what I'm doing. So as you can see, here's my my yarn. I've already wrapped it and got that part out of the way because that part takes the longest. So I'm going to go ahead and take my tan felt, and we're just going to wrap it around the jar. And you're going to be wanting to use a good amount of hot glue. So I'm going to go ahead and say this again. If you want this lid to come off of the jar, then you do not want to go all the way. You don't want to take the felt and glue it over the jar lid, because if you do that, your lid will not come off. So you want to go up under, just under the lid. Just like that. Don't go on top of the lid, because then it won't open. And if you want this to open, then this is the way you need to do it. If you don't want it to open, then you can just go ahead and put the felt right on top. And yeah. And I don't really have a full length of this color felt, so I have to piece some pieces together. But it's fine, because I'm just basically making this for video purposes only, and then I most likely will just store candy in it, because why not? And then we're just going to go ahead. And the thing about felt is, if you tug on it, it stretches a little bit. So that helps a lot. So we're just going to go ahead and pull this. Stick that right there. Notice I am not going over the lid. I'm getting close to it, but I am not gluing the actual felt to the lid, because that's what you don't want to do. Do not glue it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a little bit of hot glue right there, like that. And I am going to put a little bit down through here. And that's what we have. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors, and we're just going to, before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of hot glue down through here, because this part you don't want to glue the glass part, because otherwise your jar will not set flat. It will be kind of wobbly. So you want to avoid that. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim off a little, because it's not going to be seen anyway, because it's going to be setting on a flat surface. So yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead, take my gun around, and just fill in the little gaps that's open. And there we have that, and as you can see, the lid still comes off. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this felt, and I'm just going to cut it, just a strip, and I may need to cut another one just to make sure it reaches all the way around. I'm just going to give it a little tug. And then we're just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna have to cut a little more, and just so I make sure I got enough to go all the way around. The yeah. So now we're just gonna take some glue, and you're just gonna put it on the edge of the lid. And it's not going to be covered, so you don't have to worry about that. And I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue here to make sure this is pushed flat. And you don't have to worry about that part being perfect, because no one's going to see it. It's going to be covered with the yarn. So all I'm doing is I'm going to cut a little bit of this off. There we go. And then I'm just going to stick that there, and we're just going to continue to go around the lid until we get to the very end. So just going all the way around. And I'm just going to cut that right there. Put a little bit of hot glue right there. Yep, a little more right there. There we go. Now we're going to take and we're going to cut out a circle, and we're going to cover this part. So I'm just cutting a strip, and then I'm just going to go ahead and just cut a circle. And I'm not measuring out anything. I'm just cutting a circle. If it's too big, I can fold it over the ends, and if it's too small, I can stretch it. And I'm not trying to make it neat or perfect, because it's not going to be seen. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of a tug. So just tugging it a little bit. Lay this down on top. I'm just going to go ahead and put some hot glue. And we're just going to stick this right down on top. I'm just going around and just putting glue down where I think I need it. Now, I'm just going to trim off these little pieces right here. Get that out of the way. Move that. So now we're going to go ahead and start covering our dog. So as I mentioned before, in my first video of the dog with the removable lid, that what we were going to do was we're going to go ahead, and now we're just going to go ahead and lay these on top and start doing our dog. So basically what I did was with these is, and I did the same thing in my other video, I just took the yarn and I wrapped it around each one. And I gave y'all the measurements and everything. And you can't see this because it's white, but I just went ahead and I took my yarn, and all you're going to do is take that yarn and you're just going to wrap it around just like this. And once you wrap it, you're going to cut it. You're going to cut it off. You're going to fold it open long ways like this. We don't need that one. And you're going to take a piece of yarn like this. And you're going to take it and you're going to make a knot. And you're going to tie it. And you're going to flip it over, and you're going to do this 2 or 3 times. And then you're going to end up with your yarn looking like this. And now what we're going to do is go ahead and glue everything in place. So we're going to go ahead and put a dab of glue right in the center, because you always want to start your top first. That way you have a guide of about to where to put the rest of them. And I'm just going to hold this here and let that dry. And I'm not worried about this little part here because it's going to be covered. So as you can see, this is what it's going to look like. And then you're going to take each one of them, and you should have 4. And you're just going to glue them around the edge. So we're going to go ahead, and since we're here, I'm going to put one. And don't put it on directly on. So you're going to put it on the lid of the jar. And you're going to hold that right there. And then you're going to take your next piece with it like this. And you're just going to stick that right down on top. And you're going to do this all the way around for all 4. So I'm going to hold that there just for a little bit. Set this up. Go over here. And we're going to look, and we're going to just kind of do this the exact same way. So you're going to put a little bit of glue on the lid. And we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to set this up. And it looks about right. So we're just going to move this, turn this up, hold this here, and let that dry. So hold that. Set it up. As you can see, we have 2. You're going to go ahead and you're going to put 1 in the very back. So we're going to take that glue and we're going to put it right here. And you're going to take that yarn and you're going to place that just like this right here. Hold it, let it dry. And we got one more, and that will go in the front. So y'all just got to hold this here. I'm just going to hold this until it dries. Because don't rush it, because if you try to rush it, then it's not going to have time to stick. I made that mistake several times. You learn as you go. As you can see, we have 3. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to turn this frontwards, and we're going to put our last one right here. So we're going to go ahead, put a little bit of hot glue here, like this. Take that last one. I'm going to lay this down. You're going to take it like this. Place the knot, this part here. You're going to place that right there. Hold it. Let it dry. And then we're going to have, this is going to be all 4. I'm going to hold it here a little bit longer. Give it time to dry. And I decided to go with tan and white, so hopefully this is a little more easier for y'all to see and make out what I'm doing. Alrighty, so there we have it. So if I pull the top one up that we have here, you will see that we have one on all ends. Now what we're going to do, this is our front, so I'm going to turn this so it's facing me. That way I can see what I'm doing. So basically all I'm doing right now is just kind of evening out everything, so everything is not, so this part takes a little bit of time because you want to make sure that you have everything all nice and neat. So this is what we're doing. We're just going to go ahead and flatten everything out, and we will trim it, so just be patient. We're going to get to that. So now I'm just going to go ahead and pull everything over. So we just thinning out, making sure the hair is all, well, the yarn is all nice and neat and everywhere it needs to be. This is the front, and as you can see, we do have an opening here. So you're going to take a black rubber band or whatever color band you have. It does not have to be black. And I am going to try to do this at this angle, but it is very hard for me to do. Okay. I have to turn it so I can see exactly what I'm doing. So we're going to leave a little bit of this down like this. So basically what I did was I pulled some of the yarn out like so. So this is what we have. So now what we're going to do, now I had to turn it around so I can see. All right. So now we have some taken out. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your band and we're going to make a little bit of a ponytail. And we all know how to make a ponytail. So basically, that's what we're doing. So this is what you should end up with. I'm going to give this a little bit of a stretch like this. And I'm going to go ahead. I need to turn it around. And I'm going to go ahead. And I am going to put a dab of glue right at the top. So we're just going to put some glue here. And we're going to go ahead. And we're just going to bend that at an angle like this. And we're just going to stick that down just like this. So pull this a little bit forward. This is what we have. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're just going to cut off a little bit of, see what I did there? I pulled it up before it was dry. So I'm going to come back to that part. We're going to let that dry and we're going to go ahead and finish up the rest. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the pom-pom that we made, and I showed how I did this in another video, and I'll show you again. I'm just going to use the brown clay for, the brown yarn for right now, and I'm just going to, basically all you're going to do is you're going to roll it, and I'm not actually counting, but when you roll it, you can make this as big or as little as you want, but basically what you're going to do is roll, and all we're doing is making the pom-pom. Cut. Like that. We're going to take this off. We're going to put that here. You're going to grab another piece of yarn. You're going to cut it. You're going to take it. You're going to put this on top. And we're just going to tie. And you're going to flip. And you're going to tie. And you're going to do that several times. Maybe 3 or 4 times. Just to make sure you got a good knot. And once you do that, you're just going to take your scissors and you're just going to cut it like this. Take that one out. And then you're going to open it up and then you're going to trim it to whatever desired size you want. Similarly up to you. And here's your pom-pom. Let's get that out of the way. So here we have our pom, and now that that's dry, I'm going to go ahead and come back and just cut a little bit of this off. So there we have that. Cut this down. Now here is the face. So I'm going to turn this back around so I can see. I'll lay it like this. And we're just going to put her face. I think I'll go with this end. So you're going to take it and you're going to put some glue. And you're going to put a good amount of glue right in the middle. And now what you're going to do is take this and you're going to push that right down on top. And since we used a good amount of glue, we definitely want to hold this to make sure that it is good and secure. And while that's drying, we're going to go ahead and take our pom-poms. Now when you make your pom-poms, you're going to need to make a set of 3. Well, actually 4, because you're going to need 1 for the nose or for the face. You're going to need 2 for the paws, and you're going to need 1 for the tail. So we have our face going on right now, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and add the eyes. So what I'm using for eyes is black buttons. So let's try to put these so y'all can see them. They're basically just black buttons, and I'm also going to use button for the nose. So we're going to go ahead, grab a glue stick, and all I'm doing is just kind of messing around with it to see where I want the eyes. So I'll put my first one in first, and then we'll go from there. Okay. And I think I'll put my other one here. Here's where we have the eyes. And I'm just going to mess around with them to make sure we get them all even. So this is what we have. Next, we're going to go ahead and put on her nose. And her nose is also a button. You can use felt if you want to. I have never did it with the buttons before, so I wanted to try something different. So that's what we have so far. Now what we're going to do is this is what we have. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and add her cute little tongue. So we're going to take some pink, let's get some pink felt. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of felt. So we're going to cut that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're just going to cut it a U shape for the tongue. And you can make the tongue as big or as little as you want. It's really up to you. And this is what your tongue's going to look like. So what we're going to do, I'm going to find a place to put this tongue. So all I'm doing is just opening up a little bit. And I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue right on the tongue. And when you put that on, when you stick it in here, you're going to put it in and you're going to just kind of push down. And hold it until it dries. And here she is with the tongue. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and add the paws. Actually, before we add paws, I'm going to go ahead and trim her up. So you may think, wow, that's a lot of yarn, but you want to make it look full. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut off some of this yarn, but I am not going to throw it in the trash because I can reuse this reuse the yarn for another craft. So I don't know if y'all know this, but I don't throw away anything because I know that I can find a way to reuse it. And I can reuse this yarn, you know, like if I find some gaps in here, all you got to do is put a little bit of hot glue down and stick these pieces of yarn that you're cutting off in the little gaps if you have any. And I'm just kind of trimming it up because I don't really want mine to be this long. But I'm not trimming it to make it perfect. Like, I don't need it to be like super perfect. So I'm just randomly cutting. I'm not really trying to make sure anything is even. Because honestly, I don't think dog's hair is actually all that evened out, especially not my Yorkie. She is definitely not even. I have a Chihuahua and a Yorkie mix. She's actually right here with me, behind me right here. Because she's always, everywhere I am, she wants to be. She's a sweetheart. I have two. I have another dog, which is a Rat Terrier and a Chihuahua mix. And her name is Minnie, and she will be 12 years old this year. And Coco will be 1 or 2 this year. So here we have it. Now we're going to go ahead. And I'm going to turn this down a little bit. So we're going to go ahead. And I'm going to turn it up like this. And we're going to add the paws. So we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue here. And we're going to put a little bit here. And we're going to go ahead and add the paws. Just like this. And I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure to make sure that they stick really good. And I'm just going to adjust the tongue again. And make sure that you have your paws far up. That way they're not exactly down at the bottom, because otherwise your jar will like lean a little bit. And this is what we have. So now I think I'm going to grab my scissors and just cut off a little more in the back. And then we're going to be almost done. So now the last thing to do, I'm going to turn it this way, is to add her tail. And we're just going to put that right here. So we're just going to put a little bit of hot glue. And we're just going to go ahead and stick that tail right here. Hold it. Once again, remember, don't stick it too far down at the bottom or your jar will wobble. It won't set flat. Now, just trim it up some more. Now that I have the paws on, I just want to go ahead and just take off a little more of the yarn. And like I said before, you don't have to do this. You can totally leave it long if you want, but I think it looks best if you trim it up a little bit. But that's just me. Now, that's it for this. And if you want to give her a bow, and since she's tan and white, I think we should give her a black bow. So I'm just going to take a piece of black felt. And you can give her whatever color bow you want. And you can also make her whatever color you want. That's the thing about dogs, is they can be whatever color. You don't have to make them a natural color. They can be any color you feel like. Any color that makes you happy. I'm going to do a red and black one because I love red. It's my absolute favorite color. So all I'm doing now is just making a bow. And I'm just going to cut off. Actually, I just messed that entire bow all the way up. That's okay. I'll do it again. No worries. But do I really want to do a black bow? How about we do pink? How about we do a pink bow? Since she's tan and white, I think pink might be kind of cute. I don't know. We're gonna go with it anyways. So we're just gonna cut another piece of felt. I got some ribbon somewhere around here where I could actually make the bow out of ribbon, but I honestly don't know where it's at. So let's pull this back a little. So I'm going to fold it. And we're just going to fold it again. And I'm just going to leave it like that. So we're going to put a little bit of there and here. And now I'm just going to cut a little bit of that pink off like this. And then we're just going to cut a little here like that. And here's our little bow. And let's just go ahead and put that in her hair. And we're just going to go ahead, pop that right in there, just like that. And there we have it. Our little dog. And here she is, all finished. This is what she looks like. And like I said before, this is the first time I've used the buttons. And I think she turned out pretty cute. So, yeah, that is it for this video. Here she is. So, yeah, if you liked this video, and I hope you did, please give me a likes and a thumbs up. And if you are not already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that red button and subscribe to my channel so you can be a part of my YouTube family, because I don't consider y'all just subscribers. Y'all are actually family now. So, yeah, Please feel free to share this video with anyone that you think will be interested in wanting to make one of these little cuties. Very easy. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you are all staying safe and out of everything that's going on. I am still homebound because, as I mentioned before, my doctor thinks it's best if I just stay in and go out only if I have to, because I do have asthma. So yeah, and I just hope that you and your family and all your loved ones are staying safe. And if you are a subscriber and you are a nurse and you are out there working, thank you so much for risking your life to save ours. And you know, what would we be without our doctors and our nurses and our central drivers that have to go out and work? Thank y'all so much. And with that being said, thank you for taking the time out to watch my video, and I hope y'all all stay safe. Have a nice day. Bye.